Hello, good people. Welcome to Portfolio Game Reviews. I've been checking out your portfolios recently, and I'm pleased with what I see. Some of it could use some polishing, but I definitely have looked through it. You should see my feedback in your threads, in your Brightspace portals. So yeah, check those out. I might do a more in-depth look at some of the pieces itself and then give you guys some additional feedback on that. So if I do, I will be sending you probably a video kind of like this in this format where you can watch it and see what my response is. All right. So the first thing that we are going to do is I'm going to just go over the mock interviews. I know you guys probably haven't seen this, or I tried to send an email out, but you might not have gotten it. So I'm doing a video to let you know what's going on. So for the last part of class, the last things that you guys should be doing is I want to go through an interview prep scenario with all of you. So the idea is that we're going to go through and essentially have mock interviews, right? You don't have to dress up or anything. You just show up. We have a conversation. You get your portfolio up and we talk about it, right? So the idea is so that you guys can start familiarizing yourself. If you haven't been on an interview before, if you haven't had a conversation before with an interviewer, you haven't been the interviewee, right? If you want to do this with your peers, you can. If you want to do it with me, that is available as well. But the later it gets in the semester, the harder it's going to be for you to schedule it with your peers, and you'll probably have to just come to good old Mr. Fatai. All right, that's me. So yeah, let's go through the assignment itself. All right. So you can either do it with a peer. If with a peer, try to record it. That could be a video recording, or you can even document it recording wise. And if worse comes to worse and you don't have the opportunity to, you can't get a webcam, it's hard for you to schedule, well, you can just type out the responses to the question and that will be acceptable as well. The idea is that you guys get more experience, more practice doing this, right? Practice makes better. Practice doesn't make perfect, because none of us are perfect. All right. So if it's with me that you want to do your interview with to get a little practice, definitely let me know. Schedule a time, and I will be available for you to do that. All right. So you want to bring your resume and portfolio. I've seen a lot of your resume. I've given you feedback on a lot of your resumes. So you should have made those changes, made some additions to your portfolio, subtractions, whatever you need to, and then you can have those to reference during the interview. I will have those to reference during the interview, right? So at least 5 standard interview questions. So you have to answer at least 5 of them. Pick 1 or 2 from each section and answer those questions. And then the questions are attached to the bottom of this document right here. They're right here. So you just click this. It'll open it up in Word. If you don't have Word, you might have Google Drive, and it'll open it in there as well. All right. So the objective is designed to help you practice real-world interview scenarios using the professional and creative skills you've built throughout the semester. You'll learn how to present yourself, communicate clearly, and reflect on your performance to strengthen your confidence and professionalism. All right. So step 1, prepare. Review the 25 standard interview questions provided in class, then select 5 the most are relevant to your professional goals, portfolio, or desired career, creative career. So if you're modeling, animating, game design concept, right, there's questions specifically that you can find in there that kind of helps push you along that way. So prepare clear, professional, and specific answers to these questions, right? In your mind, you want to kind of practice this in your head. If you have to do a mirror conversation with yourself where you have a mirror next to you. Where's my mirror? I do have a mirror here. Mirror, right? So you practice. hey, da 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 da, see what your face looks like, see if you're making any weird tells or you're giving any weird facial cues that you're uncomfortable. There's these things are very important when you're having a conversation and interviewing. And in today's day and time, where if you're going to be doing any remote kind of work, right, you're going to have to do video interviews. You're going to have to, be able to get yourself ready, right? At least from the mid up, right? You need to be presentable in that fashion, right? And then you need to know what you're talking about, right? Because chances are they've looked over your portfolio. They might have done a social media scrub to see what you've been posting over the past 6 months. And a lot of the times they won't tell you they've done this, but they want to know who you are, how you work, and the way you do what you do. All right. What drives you, who you are, and if you're generally going to be a good fit for their organization. All right. Some people have the requisite skills, but you just might not be a fit for the job. You might not be a personality fit, right? Maybe everybody on staff is extroverted and you're super introverted. Maybe everybody's super introverted and you're super extroverted, right? So it might be a fit mismatch on that front. So you have to think about some of these things whenever it comes to your interview. So here's a tip. Choose a mix of questions, at least one about your portfolio, one about teamwork, technical, and one about your goals or professional development. After this, I'll read off a list of the questions so you guys kind of have an idea of it. And you can go from there. So you will participate in a mock interview. This is a good chunk of your grade because this is probably the bread and butter of what we do, right? This is what gets your foot in the door. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? I don't know if you have an elevator speech yet. Do you have an elevator speech, which is a 30-second, less than a minute of who you are, what you do, and how you do it? Real quick. My name is Fatai. I'm a 3D artist. I've worked in the industry for about 5 to 6 years doing architectural visualization and game design, right? I'd be a perfect fit because those worlds marry very, very well, and I would be very qualified to do the job. Easy peasy. You don't have to be super long-winded. You can just give them a quick spiel about yourself. Right. And then if they ask more questions, I've worked on this project. I've worked on that project. I've worked with this person. I've worked in groups. I've worked alone. I've worked freelance. And all of this brings a wealth of experience to whatever project you may need. All right. Simple, easy. These are the kind of things that you guys need to start cultivating. Right. So you will participate in the mock interview with a peer or instructor, moi. The interviewer will ask you 5 selected questions plus follow-ups if needed. So maintain a professional posture, tone, eye contact. Very important, right? Whenever you're doing this and you're doing this and you're trying to, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. All right. Let's see. There we go. Better. All right. So your posture whenever you're talking to somebody is very important. Remember, you're sitting up straight, right? If you're interviewing somebody online, you want to make sure you're looking directly at the camera. Right now, I have I have another screen to monitor my recording up there, so you'll see me glance up there. But when you're interviewing, make sure everything that you're doing is at eye level. So you're looking directly at the camera. It gives you the perception of eye contact and focus. You don't want to look like you're out of focus. You're looking somewhere else. Make sure the cat's away, the dog's away, the baby's away, the mama's away, daddy's away, everybody gone. Right? No random person walking around in their underwear walking behind you during your interview, right? You don't want somebody running and screaming and doing all this extra stuff while you are trying to do your interview. It's important that you keep a professional tone, a professional demeanor whenever you're doing this. And another thing is, keep your phone off. Turn your phone off. Turn it off to silent. Put it something so that notifications don't distract you. Notifications don't get you like it just got me, right? You want to do that for yourself. All right. So reference your portfolio pieces when appropriate. Example, in my city render project, blah, 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 blah. This is what I did to overcome this challenge. We had a challenging lighting setup that we had to do, and this is how we overcame it. All right. So the session shouldn't be more than 5 to 10 minutes long. This is a practice session, guys and girls. Practice, right? Practice. You're not Iverson. You need to practice. All right. If you get that reference, we're simpatico. So yes, practice in the mirror, practice with a friend, practice with mom, practice with dad. It makes you feel more confident, more able to talk about yourself. As artists, I know it's hard to talk about who you are, what you do, how you do it, right? You don't want to feel like you're bragging or you're doing all this, you're being extra. You're not, right? You're just explaining your competence to someone who can prospectively change, your financial situation. They can hire you for something. All right. So yeah, do that. All right. After you complete your interview, give me a 1-page reflection, no more than 250 to 300 words, covering the 5 questions you selected and why. What went well during the interview, your communication, your confidence, use of examples. Communication is one of those things that once you start to do it and practice it, you'll get better at it. Practice it. It's a tool that we all have to use, right? Selling isn't just, and this is one of the things that I want you guys to understand. Your job is now to sell yourself, right? Not in some weirdo way or something like that, but like your job is to sell you as a person, sell you as an individual, sell you as a professional, right? You have skills that need to be sold to somebody. Hey, this is me. This is why I'm the best. It's not arrogance to be confident in the work that you do. It's okay to say, yeah, this is how I do it. Yes, I enjoyed it. I'm really, really good at this. I may not be the best at that, but this is where my strong suits lie. And I know that if I train and practice a little harder, I can get this side up, right? So you want to know what you would be able to improve next time. Your body language, clarity, your pacing. Am I talking too fast? Am I talking too slow? Right? You do want to almost not pause, but you want to think about your response before you respond, right? Give it a second, mull it over, and then give a thoughtful response to whatever question the interviewer is giving you. All right. So, and then explain how this exercise helps prepare you for the real world interviews. All right. So the submission. 1-page reflection, document a copy of the 5 questions you selected, typed, and top of the page or attached separately. And if you are going to, type up your responses so you're ready for the interview, and then you can practice it. All right. So here are the 25 questions. The first question is simple, a personal background question. Tell me about yourself and your background in art design. Just give us a brief spiel on who you are, what you do, how you got to where you are. What inspired you to pursue a career in this field? What was your impetus? Was it mom and dad? Was it, I got to get out this house? Was it, I enjoyed this anime when I was growing up. I watched this cartoon growing up, and that's what gave me the urge to start pursuing drawing and animation and design. How would you describe your personal artistic and design style? Right? Are you a cartoony? Are you good at hard surface? Is your animation really bouncy and fun, or is it more corporate in nature? What are your strongest creative skills or software proficiencies? I'm personally really good at 3ds Max. That is my bread and butter. I can do pretty much anything that you want me to do in 3ds Max. I'm actually pretty good at ZBrush as well. I've used Twinmotion. I'm learned in a program called Lumion, which is used for architectural design and rendering. So I do have quite a range of software that I know how to use. I also know how to use a program called Cartoon Animator for 2D character animations and things like that. So think about your response, formulate it, and respond. What kind of projects or roles are you most interested in pursuing? Right? So I'm a hard surface guy, so let me pursue hard surface. You find what you're an animator. I like to do animation. I'd like to do 2D drawn hand to hand animation. I think that's what you say it. Yeah, whatever. But you get the point. This is what I do best. This is the kind of roles that I want to do. And if this is not the role you're hiring for, maybe it's a role I can train for. If I'm not a good fit, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. All right. So these are portfolio and project-based questions. Which piece in your portfolio best represents your skills and why? So you're going to pull up your pieces. You're going to go, hey, this is my best piece right here. It took me this long to do it. This is the process that it took me to do it. So walk me through your creative process for one of your projects. This is a very, very, very asked question. How do you do what you do is what they're trying to say. Do you start off with a sketch? Do you start off just dreaming of an idea and it pops into your head like you're Newton or something, or the apple falls on his head and he's got the eureka moment and he goes, this is what I need to do, and then you start doing it? Or do you start drawing on paper, then transfer it digitally, then take the digital and then put it in a 3D software? Or are you a storyboard artist that then does your storyboards? Do you make movies and then you take the storyboards and you make, how do you do what you do? How do you get from point A to point B to point C to point D all the way down till you complete the project? Because what I want to know is how long it's going to take you for you to finish the shit that I assign you. That's really what they want to know. They want to know, is it going to take you a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Are you going to be one of those, you can't see it, it's not done yet. You can't see it, it's not done yet. Nobody wants that person. All right? Be accountable. Be ready to show your process. How do you decide which pieces to include in your portfolio? Right? Are you going, these are the pieces that, speak to my strongest skills, right? Those are the kind of things they want to know. Tell me about a project that challenged you. How did you overcome those challenges? Yes. This is the classic obstacle question, right? This is the classic, we had a deadline of this and I stayed super late to work on it because I'm a team guy. I stay late. I put in the hours, there was this tough lighting problem that we were having and I had to deconstruct the scene and take out every single element to figure out which light was flickering in my shot, and then took it out, and then now the light worked, replace it with a new light, and now the shot was rendering at optimal speed, and we were wondering why our renders were taking hours, and then I did some optimization of the render workflow and the way we were setting up our lights, our shapes, our materials, our shaders, and it helped reduce the render times and saving us 65% time to finish the project. That's what I did on the project, right? You want to have those kind of stories. You guys are students, so you might not have those stories yet, but in your personal life, in your assignments, right? You've probably had to do creative work in school. There's got to be challenges, right? Working with people, having to wait on somebody else to finish their piece so that you can continue. These are challenges that you have to overcome in school, right? Is time a challenge? Is, hey, I've got this class, and I've got to balance all of that. Is that the challenge? Figure it out. Talk about it. Expand on your own experience, right? What's the most recent project you've completed, and what did you learn from it? This is why I always tell you guys, never stop creating. Always create. Be a creator. Do something always, right? Pick up a project, even if it doesn't go anywhere. Do you know how many hundreds of things I've started that I didn't finish, right? Like there's so many projects that are like, I'll just take up and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, all right, 2 weeks in, I'm like, all right, I cannot finish this project. This is way too big. I bit off more than I could chew, right? And that's okay. That's perfectly fine, right? Finishing is a skill. Do you hear me? Finishing is a skill. Finishing projects is a what? Skill. It's a skill. It's a skill that you have to attain. And if you can't attain that skill, it's going to be hard for you out there. It's going to be hard in these streets, these creative streets. All right. Let's, so technical and workflow questions. All right. What software and tools do you use most frequently in your work? Currently, I make a YouTube channel for kids and I write books based on that YouTube channel. My most used softwares are 3ds Max, Cartoon Animator, and InDesign. Actually, and Photoshop. Let me add one more, right? I use 3ds Max to do the 3D modeling for the set designs and some of the character work. I use Cartoon Animator to animate the show. I use InDesign to create the books. And I use Photoshop to create the covers and any other flyers or design work that I need to. So those 4 programs are my bread and butter at this moment. I used to use Twinmotion, but I've then over the years switched over to just rendering everything out of 3ds Max just because I like the render fidelity and the quality that Arnold gives me. Simple, easy to the point. These are things that you guys need to start practicing yourself. How do you handle tight deadlines and last-minute revisions? I don't. I plan ahead. That's what I do. In a perfect world. But when things do break down, well, sometimes you gotta put on an extra pot of coffee and push through. Last-minute revisions are going to happen on any project and every project you probably work on. But it's up to you to manage your time appropriately to make your deadlines. All right. What steps do you take to ensure that a project meets the professional standards? There are several quality checks that I do as the project is going. While I'm working with a client, if it's freelance, I'm giving constant feedback to my boss, the director, the client as the project progresses. The problem that I see that a lot of people run into is that they wait till the last minute or they wait till they say the project's due and then they turn it in. The problem with that is you haven't given the client ability to give you input as you were going because they could have caught something that you missed along the way. If the deliverable is due on Tuesday and it is Sunday, you should have at least 3 or 4 check-ins with your client between that time. This ensures that you are delivering the best possible product for your client. It gives them an opportunity to make sure that what they want is what you're delivering. How do you stay organized when managing multiple projects? Well, there's multiple softwares that I can use, that I do use to manage my projects. There's a Trello board that I keep, and there's a running Google document spreadsheet that helps me keep track of the time, the things that I do, the things that I need to do, and a calendar that updates me as to where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, and how I'm supposed to be doing it. How do you handle technical issues or creative blocks? Sometimes I need to unwind, right? We all get stressed. We all get blocked up. Sometimes we can get creatively stuck. The best way for us to do that is experience. For me, I found I like to skateboard. I like to walk around. I like to play sports. I like to lift weights. These are the kind of things that kind of let me de-stress, untangle. Maybe a new experience sometimes will help. Right? Sometimes you go see a play, watch a movie, right? Play with your kids, play with your nephews, your nieces, right? Have a conversation with a neighbor, right? You want to get out of your own headspace and get into the world. Let the world recharge your battery. That is my mode of unleashing and unblocking my creativity. All right. So here are the final few questions. Collaboration and communication. Tell me about a time you worked on a team project. What was your role? All right. If you're in school, this is a perfect time for you to shine. Hey, we did this project. I did this. This was my position. This was my role. This is how I completed it. I did la, 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 la. Boom, boom, boom. Spit it out. Do your thing. All right. How do you handle feedback or critique from clients or teammates? Not very well. Actually, I'm a sore loser. No, don't say that. Never say that. All right. Listen, critiques and feedback are vital to every project. Without them, we can deliver the wrong project to the client. As at the end of the day, it's what the client wants. So when I get feedback, I address them as best as I possibly can, giving the client or my teammates the opportunity to give me input as it goes along until that issue is resolved. And then when they trust me to then use my vision to continue the project, well, I will then do so. How do you communicate design ideas to people without an art background? Visually, auditorily, and that's it. I give them a description. If the description isn't helping, I try to give them an image to maybe help them jog their memory or jog their imagination. If I can't find an image, I'll find similar images, right? If you're saying, hey, I need something that looks like Pixar. Well, there's a lot of Pixar out there. So maybe you pull from, here's Toy Story, here's, this project. Which Pixar are you thinking about? What Disney are you thinking about? Right? And you're helping them say, hey, I want it to go more in this cartoony direction or this cartoony direction. If you want some sort of game style, right? Hey, are we talking Red Dead Redemption or are we talking Crash Bandicoot, right? What are we talking about? You want to give them things that they're already familiar with so they can use that to inform you as to what they want. Number 19, how would you handle a disagreement with a team member about creative direction? You're fired. Get out of here. No, that is the wrong way to do it. What you need to do is take a step back. All right. What is the issue? What is the impasse? Ultimately, the goal is to get to a destination that we all can feel good with and agree upon. And the only way we can do that is through compromise. All right. So there's two techniques that usually work pretty well. The first is I cut, you pick. What that means is if we are having a disagreement about who gets what piece of cake or how we divide the cake, well, you get to cut the cake and then I choose the piece that I want. This ensures that you, the cutter, will cut the most even piece of cake there is. Because you don't want to cheat yourself, right? So you're going to do your best to cut it because once you've cut it, well, then I get to pick. All right? Conflict resolution is very important and it's something that every project is going to need. So when presented with any of these kind of conflicts, it's important to have tools that helps you mitigate them. How do you balance your creative vision with client or project requirements? Simple. My creative vision is whatever the client wants, unless the client is calling me for my creative vision. It's that simple for me. The reason I do this is because when somebody wants their vision executed, if they are true, if they're these people, there's some people that you'll meet that they are very, very adamant. If I tell you to put a dot here, put the dot there. If I tell you to put a building right there, put the building there. But then there are some people who are like, you know what? I'm hiring you for your creative mojo, for your creative juju, whatever your sauce is. I want your special sauce, right? So they'll give you that creative freedom. But some people, some art directors do not do that. They want you to execute what they give you on paper as one for one as you possibly can. So you need to identify the type of client, team member that you have, and give them according to what they are requesting. Professionalism and growth. What do you know about our company or studio? All right, guys. This is where you guys beforehand need to do your research. It's funny because I was having this conversation with my sister who lives in Canada. She's actually having an interview with Autodesk, and her second interview. So the first thing I do is I grilled her about what she knows about the company, what she knows about the products. And she will attest to this. I don't even know. I didn't even realize I was doing this, but I was just like, what do you know about the company? What do you know about what they do? So I gave her a brief rundown on the history, a brief rundown on Autodesk, the company, the products that they create, what they create them for, the different industries that they serve, right? It's important to know this. Know about roughly the number of employees that they have, the last few titles that they have created. So if they're a game company, you should know the last financial success that they've had. You should know, hey, these people are working on this. They're trying to do this, right? Hey, this project is this kind of style. I've seen that, posts. Almost stalk them, right? This is your time. If you got the stalker in you, this is your time. This is your time to shine, stalkers, right? Do a little digging. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever they're posting. Read up on them. Read up on some of the employees. Read up on what the employees say about them. This is very important. This is the art of research. This is the art of you understanding your opponent. Because if you know them and you know yourself, there's a good chance you will be able to fit yourself into whatever they're trying to do. If you don't know them or you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to get anywhere with it. All right? Where do you see yourself professionally in the next 3 to 5 years? This is like the most cliche question that you will get on an interview. It's super cliche, but it's often asked. It's a cliche for a reason. In the next 3 to 5 years, I see myself. Okay, here's one. Don't do this. I've seen people lose job interviews literally for this answer. I want to do what you do. I want to be where you are, man. I like your job. I want to be the director, just like you. You're not getting hired. I'm not going to hire my replacement. I'm just not. I don't care how good you are. Never answer the question with, I want to do the job you do. That is that is committing hirikiri. It is not do not do that. And I've seen people do it before where it's like, I want to do what you do, man. I want to be where I want to sit in that chair. I want to drive your car to your house and see your kids and give them Christmas presents. I want to live your life. You're just sitting there like, you think somebody's going to hire you to eventually take their job? Hell nah. The one thing that humans are, if anything, self-preservationists. And if you are challenging my self-preservation, you're not getting that job. I'm going to tell you that now. You're not getting it. So in the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself? I see myself working very hard for this company. Toe the line if you must. Even if your intention is to ultimately be the director. Don't say it to the director. Guys, this is simple. All right? How do you stay up to date with new software, design trends, or technology? This is an excellent question. This is where you start to flex your bona fides, your bona fides. This is where you go, yes, this is how I stay in touch with new software. I go to conventions. I stay on forums. I'm on Discord channels. I watch YouTube documentaries or YouTube videos to let me know what's out there. I go out into the world and I experience these technologies for themselves. I download whatever the latest software is and I practice it myself. I love to stay up to date on the most current and up to date software that there is, because it only adds to my tool belt. All right. What does professionalism mean to you as an artist or designer? For me, professionalism means doing what you say you're going to do, being where you say you're going to be, and delivering what you say you're going to deliver on time with the best budget in mind. For you, it might mean something different, but you have to have something that you're thinking about. Do you have any questions for us? This is the best one right here. This one lets them know, did you do your research? Did you come here hat in hand, just hoping that we just give you the job right now? Or do you really have any questions about what we do? Are you interested in us? This is where you get to, okay, so how do you guys handle, here's what you don't do. Don't ask about how they handle vacations. Don't ask about pay. You can do that in an email. Ask, hey, if you guys have a client that wants this, what kind of manpower do we have to do this? What kind of software are you guys using? Are you guys on the latest 3ds Max? Are you guys on the latest software? Are you guys using the latest computers? What are we doing when it comes to artificial intelligence? How do we address artificial intelligence at your company? All right. What's a common work hour schedule for you guys? Right? Are you guys a 9 to 5 company? Are you an 8 to 4 company? Right? Things like that are appropriate to ask, right? What was your last commercially successful title and why do you think it was commercially successful? Is there something that you've learned over the past couple of months that you think could help me succeed at this job? Things like that will endear you to them. Or you go, hey, I saw that you guys released this title. I really love this about the game. I really love this about the project. Can you tell me what led to this lighting decision? Can you tell me what led to this artistic direction or this creative direction or this acting choice or this, movie choice? You want to be interested in them. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. This is what you're trying to establish, that, hey, when I come in the office, I'm a good hang. I get my work done. We do a lot of stuff together, but I'm a good hang. We can conversate, we can talk, because what you really are signing up for is sometimes these contracts, a year, 2 years, 3-year contracts. If you're on a video game, it's a 2.5, maybe 3-year contract, depending on what your job is on the company. If you're a 3D modeler, after your 3D models and shit are done, you off the project. If you're valuable to the company, they might move you to a different project, but if you're not, well, you're letting go. All right. So treat it like it's a relationship. Treat it like it's somebody you care about and you want to know about them and you want to know about what they do and how they do it and how they get to where they got to. All right. So, yeah. So these are the questions. You've seen the way I've answered them. You just sit up, a little confidence, hey, this is me. This is what I do. My name is this. I come from here, and these are the experiences that make me a great fit for so-and-so company, right? So let me know when you guys are ready to do yours. If you need to schedule yours with me, schedule it with me. Whenever you get a chance, I will be available for you. If you can do it with a peer, do it with a peer. Record the session, type it out. Post your reply. If you can do a webcam or a Zoom call or something, that's even better, because then we can analyze what you guys, your mannerisms, how you're talking to each other, your cadence, if your pace is too fast, pace is too slow. Are you giving the interviewer or interviewee time to respond? Are you responding adequately in an appropriate amount of time? These are things that you might not notice if you don't record yourself. If you're not used to talking in front of a camera, if you're more behind the cam kind of person, it's going to be tough for you, because we're in the age where you might not be able to drive 4 hours to the interview, but you got a webcam, you can do the interview face to face just like this. All right. So I want to thank you guys again for your time. I did check out your portfolios. Like I said, look at the feedbacks that I've given you, make the appropriate changes. It's Ty. It's portfolio management. And yeah, I'm out. I'll see you guys in class. All right. Have a good one.